What's up, guys? Welcome to another video, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about trend lines. How you guys can identify trend lines, how you guys can understand when to enter a reversal, how to actually implement it in your charts, and to be one step closer to being a successful trader. My name is Will Trades. I've been trading in the stock market for almost 5 years. I've been trading options, futures, crypto, all the above. Right now, I only trade futures. If you guys want to be able to work with me, actively be a part of a community, and so much more, my team's link will be down below. But let's go get into trend lines.
All right, bet. So we're in the charts. We're inside of TradingView. If you guys actually want to know, hey, Will, how do you get TradingView? What even is this? Go to Google, type in tradingview.com, make an account, and you guys will be there. If you have questions, just leave them down in the comments. But right now, I only trade futures. I'm a full-time futures trader, which means I only trade the NASDAQ, which is NQ. You guys can trade SPY. You guys can trade platinum, oil, gold, anything you like. But what do? I trade the NASI. We're going to talk about trend lines. Well, if you're like, well, Will, I don't really know what the NASDAQ is. Well, you guys probably heard of Tesla. Go ahead and go to your search thing, type in Tesla, go hit there. Boom, we're at Tesla. If you guys want to type in Google, we can do Google. If you guys want to type in NVIDIA, we can do NVIDIA. Trend lines work for almost everything. You have to understand that. Trend lines work for almost everything. It doesn't mean like, oh, if I trade crypto, do trend lines work? Do I trade stocks? Do trend lines work? Yes, but you have to identify how they work. So we'll go back to NQ because that is my bread and butter. That is exactly what I use to trade. And the first thing we want to identify, let me get rid of some of these algos here because again, we aren't talking about any of this stuff. We're talking about trend lines. So the first thing to identify with trend lines is we have to identify trend, right? It's pretty obvious, right? Trend line, identify trend, duh, right? Well, how do we identify trend? Well, the first thing we want to look for on a bigger time frame, this is a 3-hour time frame. Every single candlestick represents 3 hours of price movement. So you can see this candlestick represents 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, and so forth. Well, when we're looking at this chart, what do we see? Well, we want to see a trend, and you guys can see there's two types of trends. There's an uptrend where we go higher highs, higher lows, and then there's a downtrend where we make lower highs, lower lows. Okay, there is a consolidation where it just goes equal highs, equal lows, but don't worry about that in this video. I talk about that in another one, but we want to look for bull trends or bear trends. So for a bull trend, right, we get to see on a 3-hour time frame, we have a high, a low, a higher low, a higher low. So right now, what is this telling us on a bigger time frame? We are bullish, right? If you actually want to see a different example for a downtrend, a bear market, we can probably, let's see if we can find a good example here. Here we can go right here. Here's a good example. Not the best, but is the example, right? We can see here's a high. Here's a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, right? And you guys can see we're in a descending pattern, right? Lower low, lower low, lower low, and then we start changing direction right here. So that's what we want to identify, higher lows and higher highs being made. So for instance, we identify that we have an uptrend wherein what's moving higher, prices increasing, buyers are strong. So I'm gonna get my trend line, which is right here. I'm gonna go click on it. I'm gonna click the bottom wick of the previous one the trend started. So I'm gonna click here. And I'm gonna draw where the touch points are as close to. And you guys can see that we have a touch point right here. And we have a touch point almost close, not really. And then we have a touch point right here. So this is on a trend line on a bigger time frame. So we can see that that is respected very, very nicely. Let's go ahead and go to a small time frame real quick. Here's the 30-minute time frame, and the exact same thing, right? We want to wait for higher highs, higher lows to be formed. Here's a low, here's a low. Here's a higher low, higher low. Again, what are we doing? Going higher, higher highs, and what am I going to do? Exactly the same thing. Draw my trend on the bottom wick candle, all the way up to the top. And now there's that trend line. We could even do a horizontal line, right here, which this would implement a resistance level. If you guys know kind of what resistance is, meaning when price enters this level, two things are going to happen. We break through it to reach next set highs, or we respect this resistance and we actually trade lower. And the biggest thing that you guys want to do is there's a couple ways to trade this. We can, one, go to a small time frame. And let's fix this trend line a little bit. Here's the 1 minute time frame. Let's go to the 2 minute just so it looks a little cleaner. Here's that 2 minute time frame. And what you guys can see is we can wait for two things to happen. We can wait for it to respect, come down, have a buy limit order right around this area, stop loss below these lows, and watch price continue to next set highs. But let's say you guys don't want to do that. Well, there's another option. We can wait for trend to break, and there's two ways. We can enter on the break of the trend line, or we can wait for it to retest and play the break. Play the retest for it to touch this and then go back down. So again, there's so many ways to trade different ways, and there's so many trend lines to be traded. Again, this is a 2-minute time frame. I could draw a resistance level right here, and just by having these, let me even get rid of this line right here. Just by having these two lines, you guys can see that we're in an uptrend currently, and we have resistance right here, and we can make our decision. As well, I want to add into every time before we increase or decrease, there's always a little bit of a consolidation. Right, here's consolidation, here's a little bit of consolidation, here's a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of consolidation. Sorry, that was a bad circle. Consolidation. And every time we consolidate, we either go down or we go up. It changes direction, which will help. Oh, wait, I identify we're in consolidation, right? What are we going to do? Are we going to go higher? Are we going to go lower? And so forth. So that's how I identify actually playing trends. So let's give it an example here. Let's give an example. I want to do an example. Let me reset this chart. Let's push this down. And let's go ahead and put the replay. If you hit the replay, you can actually go back in time and see what price does, right? So overall, there is no trend being made, right? There's no trend. We don't identify a trend. It's not happening. So that will be deleted. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame. Well, what we have here right now currently is we have a trend from here to here. And then we have a resistance level right here. So let's see what happens with price. Let's continue. Okay, well, price breaks out of this zone, right? We can enter a buy order right here. Currently been up pretty nicely, or we can wait for it to retest. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Next candle. Look at that, coming even higher. That would have been first TP. That play would have been over. Nice. We would have been out of that play. Good trade. Let's continue. Okay, look what's happening here. Look what's happening here. We're coming back down to this trend line, which what does that mean? We could potentially look for a short position on the break. And look what happens. We broke trend immediately fell, and we could have capitalized on that play. Guys, trading is not difficult. What you guys have to identify and have to understand is the way to make sure that you make the plays correct, accurate, and consistent. Identify, put it into action, and control risk. And that is the gist of the overall strategy in the trend. If you guys have questions, leave them down below, but I hope that helped. Let's hop back out of the charts.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope that helped. I hope that kind of made a little sense about trend lines. Again, I have other videos explaining different types of strategies like fair value gaps, break of structure, daily bias, and so forth. But I hope you can implement those lines, implement that into your strategy, and become a better trader. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the video, and I'll see everybody in the next one. Peace, peace.